Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about the permanent maxillary first molars, which are tooth number 3 and tooth number 14. So the permanent maxillary first molars are non-succedaneous, which means that they aren't going to replace any of the teeth in the primary dentition. And they're also the largest crown and strongest molar in the maxillary arch. And because they are molars, that their function is going to be to grind food before we swallow it. And then when you look at the tooth from the buccal view, you'll notice that you can see the mesiobuccal cusp and the distobuccal cusp. And you can see a portion of the mesiolingual cusp and a little bit of the distolingual cusp from this view, but not a lot. And you'll notice that there's a buccal groove too that divides the tooth into two symmetrical portions, and that groove ends in a buccal pit. So then when you turn the tooth and look at it from the lingual view, you'll notice that there's an accessory cusp on it, and that cusp is called the cusp of Carabelli. The cusp of Carabelli is non-functional, it's just accessory, but it sits just above the mesiolingual cusp, and you can also see from the lingual view the distolingual cusp. And similar to the buccal groove, there is the distolingual groove from this view that also ends in a distolingual pit, which divides the tooth into two portions. And then what's really interesting about this tooth is the occlusal view, because you can see all the different ridges and grooves and pits and fossa from this view. So you'll notice that for each major cusp there is a triangular ridge, and each cusp also has a cusp tip. So you'll also notice that there are the mesial and distal marginal ridges, and for fossa there is the central fossa and distal fossa, but also the mesial and distal triangular fossa. And there's also, which is only on maxillary molars, there is an oblique ridge, and there is also a transverse ridge. There is also triangular ridge grooves for each major cusp, so mesiolingual, distolingual, mesiobuccal, and distobuccal. And then as for the roots of the maxillary first molars, it is trifurcated, which means that it has 3 roots, 2 facing buccally and 1 facing lingually. The buccal roots are the mesiobuccal root and the distobuccal root, and then from the lingual view, from the lingual side, it is the palatal root. And then for the characteristics of this tooth, the contacts are located in the middle third, and then the height of contour buccally is located in the cervical third, and then lingually it's located in the middle third. So yeah, that's all about the maxillary first molars.